Hello YouTube, my name is Marie and today we're going to talk about my December and January favorites. So first let's talk about K-dramas because that is like the staple of my channel. I talk about K-dramas and unfortunately for December I was really going through a K-drama rut. So I was staying up to date with the currently airing shows like Crash Landing on You and Touch. I have first impressions for both of those and I'll put them below. I would say the first episode of Touch is a favorite. I actually still think that it's the best out of the bunch so far. And Crash Landing on You, if you watch the first impression, I swear this video won't only be me saying go watch my other videos. But if you've watched my first impression, you'll know that like I was expecting a little bit of a different tone when it came to Crash Landing on You, and it's much more of a romantic comedy with the quirky setting of North Korea rather than like a very deep and rich like thriller romance, and that's on me. That's like pretty much my own fault for getting excited for something that it's not even categorized as. Like a commenter said, it's fluffy because it's a romantic comedy, and I'm like, touche, man. So yeah, I was up to date on those, but I wouldn't consider those favorites. The other K-drama that I watch that is also a mixed bag is Lovers Scarlet Heart Ryeo. I have a full kind of spoilery discussion video, so if you're looking forward to my thoughts on that classic that I may have some unpopular opinions about, you can stick around. That'll be up soon. So the first half of Lovers Scarlet Heart Ryeo is probably a favorite because I was in such a rut and I just threw it on to put something on. I was looking for something easy and comfortable, something I'd already seen that I didn't have to think too much about, and I put it on and I was just blown away. I had forgotten how amazing the show was. Really, the production of the show in general is just super amazing and breathtaking and very high quality, and that is a favorite all throughout. But the actual storyline and plot and some pacing and like character development issues I didn't like as much with the second half. So I would say the first half of Lovers Scarlet Heart Ryeo is 100% an absolute favorite. But because of the last half, and it was a chore to finish, mixed viewing experience, it's not technically a favorite. The only favorites that I have for TV for December are all English-speaking shows. So the first one I watched that I did really love is called A Discovery of Witches. It's based off of a book series, but I haven't read the book series. It's about this woman who was born a witch but to run away from that heritage, and she's a professor and she goes to one of the big libraries in England and she's able to call up this manuscript from like the basement of the library that is also like a really significant witch's grimoire, and when she opens it up it like kind of releases like the shockwave. Other creatures in the area can sense that this book has been brought up. And then she gets approached by a vampire who also wants access to this book, and it's a love story between a witch and a vampire, and it's right up my alley. I loved it. I think there's gonna be a season 2 and I'm really looking forward to season 2. So once I finished that, I was still in that specific mood. Like I wanted more fantasy or supernatural entertainment, so then I watched The Witcher. We all love The Witcher, right? Like the internet has decided that The Witcher is a keeper, right? Or is that just me? Like I loved The Witcher. The Witcher, unapologetic fantasy, and I've loved fantasy since I could love anything. Like my dad used to play Dungeons and Dragons with my sister and I. He read us the Aragon series and like Harry Potter, and my mom also read us this fantasy series about a female knight, and like fantasy has always been a part of my life and my family's life, and it's such an underrated and underserved genre that we need more. Like I hope Game of Thrones has changed how the general public views fantasy. It's not this nerdy thing. I mean, sure, it can be a nerdy thing, but it's also cool, okay? Fantasy is cool. The Witcher was just everything that I ever wanted it to be and more. I highly recommend it. And brief synopsis, The Witcher is about a monster hunter who is trying to do the right thing. That's all I'll say about it. And the last English-speaking favorite that I have to talk about is Anne with an E. I've watched Anne with an E since it started airing. There's 3 seasons out right now, and it's based off of a Canadian classic. Anne with an E is just a very, very charming, very lovable, very innocent and pure coming-of-age story. Truly lovable and endearing characters. I'm sad that it's ending, but if I'm gonna be totally honest, the place that it's ending has very nice conclusion. And some January favorites, which, you know, again, I was in my K-drama funk, so I didn't go out of my way to find a lot of new things or try out a lot of new things because my patience wasn't there, and sometimes it takes a couple episodes for a K-drama to find its groove. So the only show that I watched all the way through, but I did love, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on my Instagram story, so if you're following me on Instagram and you watch my stories, you'll already know. I definitely liked probably the first 3/4 of The Secret Life of My Secretary more. Once the pair, like the leads, actually get into their romantic relationship, it doesn't quite click for me. I think there's something off about the male lead, like just the way he acts while he's in the relationship with her. It's sweet, it's nice, there's nothing like wrong with it, but it just felt a bit off to me. But really good, I definitely recommend it. It came out I think last year or 2018, so if you want to go back and watch something that's like completed, you don't have to wait week to week, I would suggest Secret Life of My Secretary. It was a lot of fun, it had high stakes, which I appreciated, and the drama, even though it's kind of convoluted, it's like understandably convoluted based on the circumstances. And the last January favorites is a Japanese drama. I know, where did that come from? And it is called Chocolate and Vanilla. I don't think it's a full series. It may be like a web drama because the episodes are short. They're like only 20 minutes, and I believe there's only 10 episodes, so it's very short. But what drew me in was the synopsis, and it just sounded like it knew what it was and it wasn't going to tiptoe around it. Like, it was gonna serve you up all of the romance, all of the skinship, all of the drama. Like, it knew what its audience wanted and it delivered, and that really intrigued me. So I put it on, and yeah, it's 5-star quality good trash. Next, let's move on to some music. And I didn't really listen to a lot of music these last couple months, which is weird, but that's what I usually do. I usually find something and I listen to it to death. I always have kind of like a mourning period where it's like I find something, beat it to death, and then I don't want to go through the energy of finding new music. I'm really bad at finding new music. I don't understand. And then I found Halsey's new album, Manic. I have been around and a part of Halsey's fandom since the very beginning. This album, I think, is perfect. It seems very personal. I really love the way she's maturing through her music and telling different stories. So I really like You Should Be Sad, and I love Killing Boys. I think that song is a lot of fun, especially the intro bit of it where they have that snippet from Jennifer's Body. Killing people? No, I'm killing boys. Boys are just placeholders. They come and they go. I just think that's so funny. That's so cheeky. That's great. 929, is that what it's called? I think it's 929. Yeah, 929. I really like that one as well. I'm loving Halsey's album. So a few K-pop songs that I was really into in January, not so much December because I wasn't listening to anything in December, but January. Listened to even more ATEEZ, and I love their ATEEZ Horizon. I love this song. I love the background vocals that kind of remind me of yodeling in a way. I just love it. There's something about it that like really gets me hyped up. Like, I feel like I need to be going out and going on an adventure when I listen to this song. I just love that in the background. That's so cool. Another song that I've been listening to a lot is Mamamoo Hip. I've got something planned for you guys to do with Mamamoo Hip. I really hope I do it. I really hope I stick to this plan. I think it would be really cool. I'm very nervous. Should I just tell you? I don't know if I want to tell you. No, stick to your guns. Make it a surprise, Marie. No, moving on. All of the stuff from BTS that we've been getting this month. Sugar's interlude, Shadow. Really loved it, and I appreciated it a lot more once I turned on the lyrics. I don't necessarily always do that with K-pop. Like, I think the sound of someone's voice and the feeling you get from the music can tell you a lot. Like, I don't necessarily need to know what they're saying all the time. But with Sugar's interlude, I felt like he was actually really trying to get a point across, so I turned on the translations, really appreciated it. And then I also watched the breakdown or explanation video that DKDTV, oh, what is their acronym? Like, what are they called? DKDK, oh my god, DKDK TV, there we go. They put out a really in-depth and well-researched explanation video for Shadow, and I really liked it. I thought it was really fascinating, very interesting. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, Black Swan. That is like art. Can we even still call BTS K-pop? Do they still fit that criteria or category? What was I trying to say? I feel like I took category and criteria and like smushed it and tried to make a new word out of it. Anyways, I feel like they're their own genre now. Like, it's not the K-pop that we're used to. I know that the actual version of their song that you can get on Spotify is different than the one that's in the video. Like, the one that's in the video is a lot more classical, and I think they did that on purpose. Like, they're getting classically trained modern dancers to perform the song. They gotta change the music a little bit to fit their style, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Like, I watched that video many times. I love in the beginning where like the other dancers are like an extension of his wings. At the end where they use like a different camera and he's like using his arms and then he throws people over his shoulder. Like, oh, I just loved it so much. Okay, that's everything. That's all of my favorites that I'll talk about for the last couple months. Have a good day and a good night. Bye.